Let me tell you a secret. Do you know that some of the richest people in Nigeria don't actually own their own houses? I mean, their own houses, they don't own it. Yes, and I'm not joking. In fact, if you search some of their names in the land registry, you're gonna see nothing, absolutely nothing. So, how do they do it? Is it ritual? Is it juju? How are they really doing it? It's called buying property in their company's name. And today, I'm gonna spill all the beans. So, some of us actually grew up thinking buying property like in our names will make us feel like we've arrived, to give us one edge and all of it, without knowing that the big boys and the big girls in real estate are playing a different game entirely. Instead of you putting Mr. Adewale Olusegun on the land document, you see something like Golden Breaks Property Limited. And that, my friend, is not just vibes, it's strategy. But why are they doing that? And why are smart investors also doing that? Reason is because one, protection from wahala. If you own land in your personal name and eventually wahala burst, maybe a tenant trips on the staircase and decides to sue, or somebody fell and broke their leg inside your compound, guess what? If eventually that person decides to sue, your personal asset is at risk. Your car, your other properties, everything is at risk. Even your small money you're trying to save for this December, everything is at risk. But if your company owns it, your personal stuff is safe. Now the company just have to take the bullet for you. Very simple. Two, tax enjoyment. Let's talk about that thing that makes rich people sleep well at night. It is called tax enjoyment. You see, when you buy property in your personal name, the tax man tends to treat you like every other regular person. No consideration, no compassion, nothing, nothing. But when you buy in your company's name, you see you have another level of enjoyment entirely. First, your company can deduct almost every expenses related to that property before calculating tax. Repairs deductible, painting the building deductible, paying a lawyer for tenant agreement deductible, traveling from Lagos to Abuja for inspection deductible, even hiring your uncle's brother's cousin to cut the grass. In as much as you can show that it is the company's property, it is deductible. And then there is the magic word, depreciation. That simply means, okay, this building is getting old and the value is reducing. So let me use that reduction to pay less tax. Imagine the government actually allows you to claim a loss because your property is aging and you're still collecting rent every month. It's like you saying, my Toyota Camry is aging or it's depreciating in value, but you're still collecting money from Uber daily. You see, the key thing here is that companies are taxed on their profit. Meanwhile, individuals are taxed on their income. So if you earn 5 million naira personally, the government calculates tax on the whole 5 million naira. But if your company earns 5 million naira in rent and use 2 million naira for maintaining the property, now it only pay tax on the 3 million naira. Big difference. And that's how the big players do it, to have more money to reinvest. And some of them don't actually take all the profit from the company. They leave it there, use it to buy more properties and allow the company just grow. Meanwhile, they pay themselves small salaries so that personal tax stays low. Three, inheritance and family peace. If you've ever seen a Nigerian family fight over land after somebody dies, you will know that it is not Nollywood movie. It's a full season film. You'll be hearing this one shouting, "This land belongs to me. It is mine." You'll be hearing from the first wife, "This land belongs to my first son." This and that. You'll be hearing even the uncle say from Canada will fly down just come and argue over a land. Nigerians. Now, when you own properties in your personal name, once you die, the properties goes into probate. Like that's a legal process to transfer the properties to your heirs. Probate in Nigeria can take months, sometimes years, and it's not free. So while they're busy processing the dragon, you see family members, all of them will be gathering like wolves. But if the property belongs to the company, no problem. The company is a legal owner, and all you're transferring are just shares in that company. So no probate, no court wahala, no endless meeting with your uncles and someone suggesting, let's just sell the land and share the money. Things like that won't occur. I know a man, his name is Mr. Kenneth. That man actually has if I'm not mistaken, up to 15 properties, and no one is on his name. They are all under his company. So when he wanted to plan his inheritance, he simply divided the company shares amongst his children. Done. No one is fighting anybody. Even if one child wants to sell his part, he's simply selling shares and not the land itself. No one is fighting over, and this is my portion of land, blah 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 blah, because technically the land belongs to the company, not individual. It's like you putting your properties in a suitcase and locking it, then giving the key to the right people, instead of you just leaving your property to be lying around for anybody to grab. And here's the bonus: by doing it this way, you might equally reduce the inheritance taxes and transfer fees depending on how the company is structured. So you're not just saving family peace, you're also saving money. For privacy, so if I buy land in my name and you go to land registry to search, you will see all my properties in that name. But if I buy from a if I buy with a company's name, what you only see is that company's name. So you won't even know it's me behind it. That is how some rich people stay quiet in Lagos without their relatives calling them for urgent to pay. 5, partnership and flexibility. Have you ever tried buying land with a friend? If you're not careful, you see that friendship will end faster than a free Wi-Fi in a cafe, because when the property is in your personal names, everything becomes complicated. If you want to sell, you will need everybody to sign. And if maybe one of them is outside the country and refuses to pick your call, like that, case closed though. But when a company owns it, it's smooth. Everyone just owns shares in the company. Maybe you own let's say 40%, your friend owns 40%, and one of your friend owns 20%. If any of them want to leave, they don't drag you to the land registry. What you have to do is just to sell your shares to another investor. Very easy, very small. The property itself doesn't even move an inch. Also, company makes it easier to raise money for big projects. So let's just imagine you and your friend now want to build an apartment block in Lekki. If you're doing it with your personal names, good luck on explaining to the banks who will pay and when it will be paid. But if it's under a registered company, you can pull funds, get loans, and even bring in more investors, and also keep track of everyone's stake without confusion. Also, this is how big developers work. Some estates you see in Lagos actually owned by groups of investors through one company. No one is carrying land documents in their pockets like MTN recharge card. The document is in the company's name, and everyone's interest is on paper as shares. So that way, no one will secretly go and sell one corner without everyone knowing. And here is the sweetest part: when you do it through a company, the company tends to keep buying more properties. So your friend, both of you now can start with, let's say, one property. Before you know it, few years later, your company now own like 5 properties. Isn't that amazing? It is, of course. In Nigeria, this method is very popular with developers and high net worth investors. Like you see a property or an estate in Lekki, but the owner's name is never there. You see something like limited. They do it for protection, tax reasons, and also so that they can manage multiple properties without carrying it in their personal names like Father Christmas bag. But listen, just because you can buy property in company's name does not mean you should just go and open a company today and start rushing. There are costs, annual fillings, and rules. And if you don't follow them, your company might be struck off, and that is a bigger wahala. So please always talk to a lawyer or an accountant who understands Nigerian property law. So next time you hear that a rich person in Nigeria does not own any property, don't be shocked. They own it, just that it's not in their personal names. And that is one of the smartest moves in property game. So you can play it, but please play it smart. And remember, whether it's in your name or property name, please make sure that the land with the property is legit, because the only thing worse than owning property in your personal name is owning land that belongs to the government. It will not be funny. So please, if you found this video helpful, help to hit the subscribe button, share, and like. Bye for now.